Hi, I am Dina Berggren, Associate Director of Career Services at Walden University. I worked with Jennifer Wisniewski through a series of advising appointments as she applied innovative networking strategies using LinkedIn and enhanced her marketing materials to land her field experience site. She shares her story with us.
Hi, my name is Jennifer Wisniewski, and I'm in the PhD psychology program with a specialization in clinical psychology.
How did your prior experience as a social welfare examiner prompt you to pursue your degree at Walden?
As a social welfare examiner, I was around many people in the community, different populations such as the age disabled population, and I really connected with them, and I wanted to learn more about how I could help them and give to them in a better, a more advanced way. So I really got interested in psychology and pursuing to advance my degree.
And a large component of your PhD in clinical psychology program has been your field experience. And what challenges did you encounter as you started looking for psychology field experience sites in your area?
My area is kind of rural, and it's hard to find a lot of big institutions with a lot of psychologists. I found a lot of small private practices and licensed social workers, but finding something that would meet licensure requirements for the state and Walden's requirements was very difficult and few and far between.
And how did you initially decide to reach out to career services for help with your field experience search?
I had been talking to Field Experience and watching some videos on their site and was referred to a site that helps you to apply for internships all over the country. And I realized at that point that my resume was kind of outdated. I hadn't had a new one in 9 years at my other position. So I decided to get on the Career Services website and realized they had a lot of resources on there. So I started out by requesting a conference and doing a phone call.
And what new field experience search strategies did you gain during your career advising appointment that helped you land your practicum site?
The most important one I learned was about using LinkedIn. I hadn't had too much experience with that prior to talking to career services, and I learned how I can search for other professionals in my area, even connect with other Walden students, and really just build a network of people that I normally wouldn't have a way to communicate with.
Wonderful. And I know that you connected with a chief psychologist through LinkedIn. Can you tell us a little bit how that worked out for you?
Using LinkedIn was very beneficial. I had for about a year prior to using LinkedIn to connect with this particular facility, and they didn't have any openings for an intern. So I had tried to pursue other options. And then after LinkedIn, I found a couple of professionals and I connected with them. And to my surprise, I had connected with the new chief psychologist at the psychiatric center. She had just taken over the week before, and she was very interested in having some help at the facility. So she actually called me the next day and we connected and scheduled an interview.
Excellent. So LinkedIn really helped you make that connection, and she reached out to you, and you were able to land an interview. So that this is a great example of the power of LinkedIn to make those networking connections. And you also created a career portfolio. Tell me a little bit more how you went about creating your portfolio and some of the artifacts that you included.
Yes, I had never thought of making a portfolio. I figured having a resume would be sufficient and go through the normal interview questions and I'd be all set. Having a portfolio, I realized, made me stand out among the crowd. And in there, I started with a resume. I did an About Me section where I gave a little of my history and my interests and what I'd like to do in the future. And I also had some article or some discussion board that I had written in classroom, some of my responses and pictures of projects I've done. So there were some writing samples and things like that. And it really helps to kind of sculpt the interview and to show all of the things you want to share with the person interviewing you that you might otherwise forget if you don't have that guide in front of you.
Excellent. And portfolios are great for showing your potential employer or internship site what is it that you have accomplished and providing examples of your work. So you did a wonderful job in that. And what improvements did you make to your CV and how did your enhanced document help you stand out over other applicants?
The biggest thing was sculpting my CV to have a lot of action words and be specific. I was very vague and didn't give a lot of specifics, so it was hard for anyone who didn't really know me or know my job history to understand what I have accomplished. So, really making things stand out and highlighting those achievements and organizing it in a way that's pleasing to the eye for people to read through. And being more specific on exactly what testing I did and how many people I worked with on my caseload, and just giving a better view of my accomplishments and what I did helps people to really understand my qualities.
So the CV and also the portfolio in combination really helped you stand out during that interview. And what were the next steps after the interview?
During the interview, we spoke about a variety of topics of things I could do with the psychiatric hospital, and I was able to show my interest. And I was actually offered the practicum spot before I even left the interview for the day. So I already knew I had landed my practicum site between my updated CV, my portfolio, and it really sparked the conversation to be able to express how well we would work together between myself and the agency.
Excellent. So you really showcased your skills and showed how you could add value to that site and made a wonderful first impression. And what new knowledge and skills are you gaining at your current site to help you prepare for a career in clinical psychology?
I'm learning a variety of skills. I'd be able to shadow several psychologists. I've been able to do assessments and do group therapy, individual therapy, really build my style as far as how do I work with the clients, my theoretical orientation to working with the patients, and getting to experience different populations such as children, adult, and the geriatric units. So it's been a
Excellent.
great experience.
And what are your next steps, Jennifer?
Actually, my next steps, I had been working on interviewing for an internship position. I've had a couple interviews over the past couple weeks, and I'm proud to say I just landed an internship position at another site that lines right up with my mission of what I'd like to do in the future. So I'm pretty happy to say that come the summer, I'm going to be able to continue my field experience, finish up my degree, and focus on what I'm going to do after I graduate from Walden.
That sounds like you're living your mission and gaining the skills that you need to be successful. What advice would you give other Walden students who are also seeking field sites to complete their program requirements and move forward in their careers?
I would suggest to any Walden students to reach out to career services, look through the website, schedule an appointment, and really look for that help. This is a service that's there for us as part of our experience as a Walden student. So take full advantage because it's really going to help you pursue your goals and move forward with your career.
Thank you, Jennifer, and thank you for joining us here today and sharing your success story in landing a field experience site.
Thank you for having me.